Okay, today's topic is about we are reading about a digital voltmeter. Why it is needed of a digital voltmeter? When we are going to measure our analog parameters like your voltages or currents, those are in a analog way. When you are going to measure a analog signal, the value what we are going to measure, it should be in a precise manner, right? For that reason, whatever the instruments what we are going for nowadays, multimeters of any of the devices, it's all in terms of your digital meters, right? A value what it's going to display, right? That is of a mega circuit. Also, it is in terms of a digital way, right? Any of the devices, if you are going for, you are going to use your digital values measuring analog signal measuring in terms of a digital value. The displaying is also in terms of a digital, right? For that purpose, we are going to learn about what is our digital voltmeters. What is the block diagram it is consisting of, right? We go with the one by one. Any digital instrument requires a analog to digital converter at its input. Then based on this, the block diagram here it is taken as we are providing an analog input, that is in terms of your voltage, current, frequency, any of the parameter if you want to measure, you can give here. Then a ADC, that is analog to digital converter we are going for. Here a reference is going to be chosen. Next, after this, we have a signal processing. After signal processing, we have data transmission element. After all of this block diagram, at last we are going to display the what's the quantity we are going to measure, right? That is what the display operation is going to be done here. Then what is the requirement of our analog to digital? We are told that voltage and currents are in analog way. We are converting that to the digital values so that our digital voltmeters or digital instruments can read those values. For that reason, we are going to use of our analog to digital converters. Then here the reference. Why it is needed of a reference? When an input is given, which, you can just take an example of 5 volts. Our ADC should go for the 5 volts. The input what we are going for, it's of a 5 volts. The reference, it should be also in the range 0 to 5. Right? What is the input? If you are going to give as 3 volts, then within the 0 to 5 reference means within that limit only our analog to digital converter should convert the signal to the digital values. That operation is going on. Next, the signal processing. What are the inputs we are going to give from the ADC? It's going to be processing. We are going to different filters, different techniques in this so that we can able to process our signal, and then it is going to be given for the data transmission element. What is the signal? In terms signal processing means here zeros and ones are going to be converted. Yes, it will be converted and it is going to be processed. So different methods are there, different techniques are there so that we can process the signals. In DSP, if you're going for higher versions, you'll be going for of those. Then after that, those information are going to be transmitted. Okay, data transmission element, it's going to be used. After this, we are going to use of your displays, LCD, which one you want, you can go for using of your displaying purpose. Okay, that display operation is going to be done. This is how a working is going to be done in a digital voltmeter. Next, just we read of this theory. Every ADC requires a reference. The reference is generated internally. This is the operation is internally operation, okay? And the reference generator circuit is depends on the type of the ADC, which type we are going for. I gave the example as 0 to 5 reference. For different ADC, it will be requiring for different references, okay? Then the output of ADC is decoded and signal is processed in the decoding stage here in this block diagram. Such a decoding is necessary. Why it is necessary? To drive the 7-segment display. If you are giving analog values, it's not going to be displaying the value. 7 segment based on 7-segment display information, its decoding operation is going to be done. Then the data from decoder is then transmitted to the display. Then the data transmission element may be, this data transmission may be, we can use the buffers or anything, but in particularly we are going to use our latches, counters, flip-flops, different digital parameters we'll be using to transmit the uh, zeros and ones, or else the processed signals we can transfer there. Okay, that's what the main purpose of using of data transmission elements. A digital display shows the necessary digital result of the measurement. Which one you are giving, that result is going to be displayed based on your digital circuit. This is about the block diagram of DVM. Next, digital voltmeters, performance parameters for the digital voltmeters. This is very important. The whole topic, it will be asking for 4 marks or else 6 marks. The first one, the number of measurement ranges. What is the range you are going to fix? In your multimeter, you can change the ranges, right? In the same way, here also, we are going for the basic range for the DVM is either 1 volt or else the 10 volts. Within this range, we can measure by using of DVM, we can go for. With the help of the attenuator at the input, the range can be extended. Based on the attenuators, at the input only you have to provide. The range can be extended from few microvolts to kilovolts. That is the use of your attenuators. The second one is number of digits in readout. Number of digits in readout means the output, how many digits you are going to display. Okay. The number of digits of DVM varies from 3 to 6. More the number of digits, more it is the resolution. Means if I am going 3 or 6 means if I want to display the voltage, if I take example of 4.3, right? 4, 3, I am telling for 3. If it is of 3 digits of display, 4 will take 1 digit, point will take 1 digit, and 3 will take 1 digit. 3 digits have come. Then if I want in between of 5, what I can go for? 4.3, 2, 4. This is the 5 digit display. How it is going for? Okay. More the number of digits, more is the resolution. The accurate values, what it is required, we can get from this. That's why if you want to prefer more digits, you will get accurate values. Then about the accuracy, accuracy depends on the resolution. Resolution, what I told. How many numbers of display you're going for, that many number of the accuracy values you will be getting, right? For that reason, it depends on the resolution and the resolution and the number of the digits. Number of digits, how many digits you are going to display. Hence, more number of digits means more accuracy. The accuracy is as high up to 0. Plus or minus 0.05% of the readings. Accuracy range is 0 plus or minus 0.005% range. Next, speed of the reading. The speed of the reading in the digital voltmeters, it is necessary to convert analog signal into the digital one. Yes, it is very much required, as I told. The various techniques are going to be used to achieve this conversion. The faster rate it has to convert the analog signals to the digital one. The circuitry which are used to achieve such conversions are going to be called as digitizing circuit conversion from analog to the digital, and the process is called digitizing, and the process is going to be called as a digitizing. The time required for this conversion, is called digitizing period. How much the time it is required, right? For that is we call as a digitizing period. Then the maximum speed of reading and the digitizing period are interrelated. how many maximum speed reading, how much is possible, and digitizing period, the time what it's going for. That's are interdependent. Then the instrument user must wait. Instrument user should wait till a stable reading is obtained. Means still a conversion is going to be happened. She should wait. After that only he can proceed further. Obtained, as it is impossible to follow the visual readout. By eye contact we can't do of those. How much the conversion is going for from analog to the digital one. Visual readout at high reading speeds. That's about your speed of the reading. Then normal mode noise rejection. In this is usually obtained through the input filtering. Means it's there in noises are there, we have to reject of those. Input filtering or by use of the integration techniques, we are going for the noise present at the input. If passed through the unlocked digital converter circuit, then it can be produces an error. Means a noise is present at the inputs only, means when I go for the processing of a signal, you will be getting an error. Even though actual reading is of 3.45, what's the error you will be getting? Instead of 3.45, you may get as 3.54 also. That error is going to be added to your signal. For that reason, we have to reject of those noise at the initial stage only, for that reason. Then, especially when meter is used for low voltages. Low voltages it requires more attention when compared to the high voltages, because if I want 230 volts like that operations, I can measure of 210 is more than enough. But when I'm going to give the voltage for the small devices, for your chip design, if you are going for in your processor or controller, if you are going for the maximum voltage what we are going to provide, it's okay only 5 volts, right? Within 5 volts it has to spread out for all the devices what you are going to connecting in that. Okay, that small precise values of voltage, if you are going to measure that, you should be more careful for that reason. Hence noise is required to be filtered. That's what your normal mode noise rejection. Then common mode noise rejection. This is usually obtained at the guarding point. A guard is a sheet of metal box surrounding the circuitry. For the any of the device, it is in a shielded fashion. Guard, it's like a security guard. It's securing that chip, the circuitry what you designed. Okay, a terminal at the front panel makes it as a box available to the circuitry under measurement. Means it is protecting any of the noises or any disturbance are going to be disturbing to the circuitry, that is going to be rejected. That's what your sixth one. And seventh one is of digital output of the several types. Digital outputs, here it is taken as the digital readout of the instrument may be 4 lines BCD, means 4 lines, how you are going to display. First your name, then your father name, like this, how many lines you are going to fix. Okay, or else a single line. Serial output you can go for, you can go anyway. Okay, thus the type of digital output also determines the variety of the digital voltmeters. This is about the seventh one. And the last one is of input impedance. The impedance should be high. I hope in your amplifier, so any of the design if you're going for, the main intention is of what is the input impedance should be high. We will prefer after. The input impedance of DVM must be as high as possible, which read 11 seconds. A loading effect, I think I'll clarify this. Typically it is in the order of 10 mega ohms. Okay, that is about your input impedance. These are all the performance parameters about the DVM, block diagram of the DVM. Next topic we are going for here as a electronic energy meter. What is here? We are going to measure our energy by using of a meter. That is what the meaning. Here, the measurement of energy can be done by using of the electronic energy meter. Okay, such an electronic energy meter uses integrated circuits. Yes, we require what are the basic building blocks so that I can measure the energy. Then the measurement of energy can be divided into two parts. Why it is going to divide as two parts? We came to know that energy definition is nothing but power consumed within a certain time interval, right? Based on that, we are going for. Basically, energy is defined as the total power delivered, total power it's going to be delivering or consumed based over a time period. At certain time period, it may consume or it may deliver the power. At that, what is the energy? We are going to find out. For that reason, so the measurement of energy can be done by measuring the power. First, we have to measure the power, then the time over which it is going to be consumed. Therefore, next, the functional block schematic of an electronic energy meter is taken as here a main supply 230 volts or 50 hertz single phase AC we are going to prefer here. Then a potential divider is used. A small load is applied. Potential divider, it's given for the two connections, one for the voltage and another for the current. From this, after voltage and current, after getting of this, we are giving to the voltage current multiplier unit. We have means in this multiplier unit, it's going to multiply your voltage and also of the current. Then voltage controlled oscillator. When I'm going for, just you observe here, when I multiply here, what I will be getting? V into I will get. Right? P is equals to V into I will get is nothing but our power only. Then voltage controlled oscillator, it is used. Then analog to digital converter. Then a display unit is used. Next, we'll go with what is the theory behind this? Basically, the average power is equal to the mean product of the instantaneous voltage across the load and instantaneous current through it. Yes, how much the voltage is going to be consumed by the load. Based on that, I can measure of the voltage or else the current, right? That's what here the point. By using potential divider, the supply voltage is brought to the required level. The potential divider is going to controlling the supply, means controlling the parameters from the supply required level. This voltage is then scaled. It's going to be scaled appropriately in the required range by using of the voltage scaling device. Here, voltage scaling device. What is the required range for us to so that I can measure my power? That is going to be done by using of the voltage scaling device. Then, while the current scaling device scales the load voltage, which is proportional to the load current. It is going to measure the how much the current is coming from the load. Okay, both these are scaled voltages are connected to the voltage and current multiplier unit. Here it is going to be connected. Then this unit outputs the current as a result of the product of AC voltage and current. Output what we will be getting? It is in terms of AC voltage and current. Then the current proportional to an instantaneous power is applied to the voltage controlled oscillators. Current proportional to the instantaneous power. P I can write in terms of I square into R, right? Based on that. Applied to the voltage controlled oscillator. Then it works on the principle of constant current charging of the capacitor. Our voltage controlled oscillator, it's going to be working on the principle of constant current charging of the capacitor. Then as the voltage controlled oscillator is basically voltage to frequency converter, correct? The oscillator's work is of what? We'll be going to convert our frequency voltage to the frequency converter. Then it produces a square wave. Observe here, it's going to produce a square wave output. From this voltage controlled oscillator to the ADC is going to be giving in terms of square waves. Then the frequency of this square wave is proportional to the output current of the voltage current multiplier. This frequency of this square wave is proportional to the output current of the voltage current multiplier. Thus, the power depends on the current and the frequency dependent current decides the value of the consumed energy. Power is depends on the current, dependent on current, and frequency dependent current. Power depends on, observe here, power dependent current, again frequency dependent current. It will decide the value of the how much the energy is consumed. Okay, then the analog signal is converted by using of the analog to digital converter. Then after analog to digital converter, the display unit displays the energy in terms of watt hours. What is there in the diagram, you have to just in the theory part. Next, what are the advantages? The advantages are, it is high sensitivity, then no friction losses occurs in the energy meter, which one we are going to use. Okay, then the third one is less loading effect, then low load, full load, power factor adjustments are not required. Then high frequency range, by using of this we can go. Then high accuracy such that the error, what is accuracy range it's going for, it's of plus or minus 1% it is going to be taking. These are all the advantages. Okay.